Hey y'all, the captain here. I'm not sure what to call this video, but it really doesn't matter because I think I'm just gonna go with the flow and just let what needs to come out come out. Been kind of at a crossroads lately. I guess maybe some of it has centered around some of the uncertainty I feel about the future and just wondering exactly what I need to be doing with myself. I think it's been nice that I've been doing videos and had a few people watch them, and seem to like them and all that, but sometimes I don't know. I just hope it's not all just vanity on my part and just a way of me trying to feed my ego and, I guess, I don't know, feel like I need to somehow seek validation, when it doesn't really need to be sought. I don't know. I've had a lot of insecurities, a lot of things to sort through, a lot of ways I've needed to open up. There's something about me that just seems off, and that, I don't know, somehow I'm just being a trouble to people. And I understand everybody has troubles, everybody has struggles, and everybody has doubts, and I do. I guess maybe I have probably more than I sometimes try to let on, because the version of myself that I try to, I guess, let on is someone who's, conquered a lot and is doing great. And I'd say by and large, I am doing great. I have a good job. I have a house. I have a wife. I have a little girl. But there are just times where I just struggle, and I have moments where I'm very, I guess, upset, frustrated. Feel like I'm getting in other people's way. And I guess in those times, sometimes the shadows out of my past seem to kind of emerge in my head, and I tend to rethink them. That's one of the things, I guess, if you're on the autism spectrum, it's very, I guess, common in many of us to have total recall about a lot of things, even when we really don't seriously mean to. It's just because the way our brains are, it's just so easy for us to hold on to certain information and certain inputs in a way that just is, it's hard to put them away sometimes. It's hard to put away ones that are very bad and are very, I guess, maybe even traumatic. I don't know. I don't know I don't know where I stand on the traumatic experiences scale compared to others, Sometimes it's like, man, I know of others who probably had far worse than maybe I have, but maybe on my own way I've had trauma that I've had to deal with. And I feel like maybe I embarrassed because some of it I may not have dealt with fully even after I got married. even after I became a dad. And I feel like maybe because I'm married and I'm a dad, that the fact that I still have hang-ups in me means I'm tainted goods. I'm somehow I have a inconvenient deficiency. I mean, it's silly to think like this, because certainly doubting yourself is something anybody can struggle with. It's just not something you want to feed off of or feed in your head, because it ultimately will lead to destructive thought patterns and things that are harmful really to yourself, not just those around you, but just yourself. It becomes one of those things that just, it hurts you, and then maybe without meaning to, it can hurt those around you, but it's not in the sense that others can't understand you or help you. I feel like if my wife needs to help me with something through something that I feel like I'm burdening her, or I feel like if I'm not able to be all smiles for our little girl, that I can't be a help to her, or I can't, be a good dad to her. But the thing is, people say, and my wife and my little girls say, that I'm a great dad and I'm a great husband, and people all around seem to think I'm a great guy. I guess it's hard because in a weak moment when maybe, I don't know, maybe my wife's not happy, because she can't be happy all the time. But if she's not happy, maybe I think it's something, and I think that's automatically means that I'm just really bad person, even though no matter how much other people say I'm really good, it's just, I guess maybe that's a symptom of black and white thinking, that we have in our heads, a lot of us on the spectrum. I guess throughout the pandemic, it's not that I mean, there was a stretch in there where I didn't see very many other friends. I guess maybe out of an abundance of caution, but there were some other, I guess, things kind of going on at the time that kind of made me kind of drawn inward a little bit more. There was almost a couple of years ago, there was a terrible tragedy in our family, my extended family, but yeah, in our family. I guess maybe is one of those things that I kind of end up thinking about at one time or another every day since it happened. And then there's I don't know, just the way life has felt different, since the pandemic has gone on. And there's certainly hope that the loosening up of things may be on the horizon, but it's just seems like so much is up in the air. I know that for people on the autism spectrum, certainly something that is common is how anxiety can be heightened, can be more common, and be oftentimes felt more intensely. If anybody does know about that, I certainly do. Maybe there's some of you out there who experience anxiety and you're on the spectrum, but maybe you're not on the spectrum. It's not just those who are on the spectrum who deal with it. But if you do, feel free to chime in. Tell me your experience. Hopefully I'm somebody who can relate, and maybe the fact that I can relate can mean that we can help each other. I don't know. It's hard. I think about if there's something I ought to be doing that's different in life. Even though I'm done so much, sometimes I feel like I'm just in a rut. I see my friends when I can. I guess I don't see as many as I used to. I guess maybe since I changed jobs, and even though the new job has worked out great in many respects, I don't know. I feel like there's just needs that I have that are sometimes hard to put a finger on, that I feel like maybe are just things that I ought not to even have to begin with, or that I shouldn't bother having. There's places I want to go, people I want to see, things I want to do. And then in the meantime, there's just, yeah, I got to make sure the bills are paid and they're getting paid, but then I got to, I don't know, fix something on the car, or maybe I got to, just those little everyday life things that just kind of remind me just how limited things are. I don't know what good any of it does sometimes. I don't know what good I do many people sometimes, but it's silly to think like that, because I don't want to become somebody who's so turned inward and inwardly obsessed, you know. That's easy to do, I guess, if you're somebody who's on the spectrum. And I'm not looking for excuses. I'm not using that as a crutch. I'm just trying to make sense of it. I'm trying to, I guess, trying to get a grip on myself. Maybe in a way, my whole life seems to have been some kind of a struggle to do that, you know, and I feel kind of, it's a source of embarrassment sometimes. It's a source of shame. I do struggle with guilt. I struggle with shame. I struggle with feelings of inadequacy. I recently wrote, just while I was out working the other day, there seems to be two settings for me that I seem to feel a lot of the times. I feel like that the world, or God, or whoever's out there, or others close to me, may be just thinking, I better not mess up, or I messed up, I'm bad, go away. And that just is silly. But I don't know, maybe when I just start thinking about things and the way things are going, and wondering what direction my life is going, I feel like I'm just in that kind of position. I'm up against that kind of wall. I also wrote, basically I wrote, I feel like those who said they love me are the ones who who have been least happy with me. That seems silly too. Obviously, not everybody's going to be happy with you all the time. Nevertheless, you can't assume that because they're not happy with you that it's always your fault. And you can't assume that people are going to be unhappy with you. And you can't assume that you know, just because somebody dared to be a little unhappy with you doesn't mean they stopped loving you. But I guess it's hard, because I guess maybe there are reasons why my brain is wired that way. Maybe there's experiences I had growing up that I sometimes just resurface when I don't even realize it. Sometimes there's things maybe you have that you maybe experienced as a kid, and that you experienced as a adolescent, or just in the past, in any of those stages, even as an adult in the past, that just maybe got stuck in your brain somehow, that just seemed to have kind of muddled everything in the way you respond to things. And as somebody on the spectrum, I feel like I have a backlog of things that I just don't know if I can overcome. It seems like I can say I've overcome a lot, but sometimes it just feels like that I'm not making it. Felt like I needed to have a good cry. And I feel like those who would hear this will probably just, give you that pat on the back and say, yeah, it's going to be all right. You're going to be doing fine. That old pep talk. And I'm like, I'm sure people like that mean well, but maybe more than anything, if there were a response that you would have to this that I know would make me feel, would assure me, would reassure me, it would be that maybe my ability to open up, to be vulnerable, to show that I'm weak, to show that I'm human, and that I'm not perfect. I would hope that would mean that I could be somebody who could connect with you, who could be a friend. I just hope that if there's somebody who can watch my videos, who can be encouraged by this, even if I don't feel like I'm getting stronger, if I can help you feel stronger, that would make me feel stronger than anything else I could think of. It's hard when you're on the spectrum to feel to go through uncertainty, to go through tough decisions, to go through times when you're just needing to open up, to be honest. And and in the end, I don't even know if what I'm saying could even make sense to anybody, because I feel like that seems to be a dilemma. People on the spectrum certainly long for deep and meaningful connections because it's something that's so hard to come by. Even with it starts when you're as a kid, and then as you grow up and you want to develop, and that need for it is there. But it just seems like you don't have the tools that everybody else does. And I feel like that the tools I have now, I'm still trying to learn to use right. Even in my own house, maybe I'm doing a better job than I realize, but it just doesn't feel like it. And so it seems like it's not much of a point, it's just like I got to go to bed every night not knowing if I really got it right today. There may be a lot of ways of dealing with it, and I've definitely done my best. But in my series of videos I put out, Sailing on the Spectrum, and my treasure chest videos, which I'm trying to get back into. Anyways, you'll see them all. There'll be more videos coming. But I just hope they all can have some sort of a theme that lets you know that even if I don't have it all together, that I've at least shown that some good can come of yourself, no matter what you're struggling with, and no matter what that you want to share, that you want to communicate. Feel free to leave it in the comments. I'll be happy to try to address it. I'll be happy to try to, give you some sort of input based on my experience growing up on the autism spectrum and my experience navigating it as an adult. I just really don't even know if this video can tie together. I don't even know if it can be seen or it can hold your attention. Just know that if you have anything good come of seeing what I have to say on my videos or even this video, then please know that it would make me so happy. Just feel free to leave a comment, give a like, give a subscribe, and just know that I'm going to keep working at it. If I am being helpful, just please feel free to let me know. And let me know if there's anything else that you would want me to talk about. And I'll check in with you later. Thanks for sticking with me. All right? Whoever you may be out there, I love y'all. It's the Captain. Peace out.